represent dark, and so kind of learning how both light and dark are aspects of ourselves and how to balance and express those in practical ways. So that's what I kind of want the theme of today's lesson and practice to be. Okay, so since the majority of everyone are here, let's go ahead and begin. Light your candle. I've already lit my candle. I already did my sage, my smudge, or my spray, whichever you prefer. Then I like to officially mark the start of my practice with a sound. This is a 440 hertz. It can be 444 or 440 hertz. And you just ring it and you say, I demand release from all control and influence of my thoughts, feelings, words, and deeds. Say it 3 times. I demand release from all control and influence of my thoughts, feelings, words, and deeds. I demand release from all control and influence of my thoughts, feelings, words, and deeds. Okay. And then we do the white light pyramid. Okay, so it's about 3 minutes past. Let's get ready and do this. Okay. So close your eyes, get comfortable. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. I want us to imagine a bright ball of white shimmering light descending down from the heavens into the room or space that you're in, settling right in front of you, and have it slowly melt into your body where it finds its place right in your chest, right in your heart space. And it starts swirling and pulsing and expanding until your entire body is filled with this white shimmering light. And I want that white light to continue to expand until it takes on the form of a white light pyramid that completely surrounds your body, with the peak about 20 feet above your head and the 4 points touching the ground. I want you to imagine a beam of light that shoots straight down from Source or God, down through the top of your pyramid, down through all of your chakras, down through the bottom of the pyramid onwards until it connects to the center of the earth. You are now completely synchronized and harmonized to Source and Earth frequencies. And within this white light, we're completely protected, and we only allow truth, love, and wisdom to enter. Okay, and then Emily always asks, Source, could you please give me a physical confirmation that my white light pyramid has been activated? And then you just kind of feel in. I don't know if I ever sense anything when she has us practice this, but she always says things start subtle and practice is key. The protection bells, yes, they're always playing. And yeah, I had a spiritual experience with a psychedelic substance last night for the first time. And it was very, I feel like the bells were a key bookmark in that experience because they started playing at the peak of my experience and made the whole thing was centered around the sound of those bells, and it was quite magical. Hey Trishelle, hey Dan, I'm so glad you guys are here. We just did the white light protection, so if you haven't done that, just quickly imagine the white light around you, completely surrounding you, and you're good to go. And then pick up the rods, and if you want to double check, like sometimes I do it so quickly and I'll be like, was that too quick? And then I'll connect and be like, is my white light activated? And it'll be like, yes. Okay, so once you've done the white light activation or the pyramid, don't worry, Rebecca, just go ahead and quickly imagine it around you. It still works no matter if you do it with or without us. And for those rewatching this, yes, it doesn't matter. You can do it everywhere, often, as many times as you want, and as quickly as you want. Okay. So then comes the fun part where we pick up our tools and connect. We've already officially opened our sacred practice, and now we can connect. All right. So let's invite Merlin. I would like to connect to Merlin, the wizard, for my highest and greatest good. Merlin, when you're here, please show me a yes with the connection. Yes, thank you. I'm so glad you're here, Steph. I too love this. I love this. This is our own spiritual Sunday practice together now. Yes. Very cool. Merlin, is it true that the orbs are back in Jersey again? I'm getting a slow yes. I watched the Dragon live the other day and been connected to Merlin daily. He's a hoot. He is rather funny. And it's funny because I keep hearing that a lot of these, beings are very funny. But Merlin, would you say that you have a very strong sense of humor? I get a yes. And he does often, for example, as we're about to do the calibration. So once we confirm, am I truly connected to the Merlin the Wizard? Yes. Yes, he enjoys teasing. Merlin, is it true that you do take pleasure in teasing us at times? Yes. He does this to me often. And I asked the other day, Merlin, show me a yes. And then you, of course, do the calibration. Show me a no. Okay. Show me a maybe. Show me a no answer or answer denied. Nothing. But it's funny because a few times when I've asked him to show me that, the last time he made it have just one arm move. And then the next day I asked him to do it and he did the other arm. I think he just likes to keep me on my toes. Yes. And there was one time I asked him to show me a very, very slow or very fast yes, and it was the most painfully slow yes, like this. Yeah. And it made me really flustered in the moment, but rewatching it, I'm like, oh, okay, he's teasing me. I get it now, okay. But in the moment, I'm still working through my own doubts of like, is this working at all? And so I wasn't ready for his teasing. So it's quite funny. Okay, I missed you too, Dan. All right, so today, now that we're officially connected, and we've gone through the questions you can even ask, and you can connect to anyone. I like to always, even if you feel, if you're bringing in a new being, like if you've never connected with Merlin before and you're not cool with that, is it totally fine to just connect to your highest self? Yes. So like you don't have to connect to anyone else. You can literally just connect to your higher self, your God, whatever source, it doesn't matter. But for today, we're all practicing connecting to Merlin. Yes. And then I like to ask just double check question. Am I connected to anyone else other than Merlin currently? And I get a no. And so if you get a yes, that's when you can go through the be like, okay, I restart the process and be like, I only call in Merlin. Merlin, are you connected? Yes. Okay. Then I wanted to move. Where were we? All right, today I wanted the theme to be joy. So we're going to be talking joy, angels, and dragons, and embodiment of integrating the balanced energies of both. Because if you missed the last session, Merlin is interesting in the fact that, he's kind of a mystery, but from what I've gathered, he is very balanced celestial and earth energies. He's very balanced angel and dragon energies, light and dark. So really cool being if you're learning to try and balance those. And I also know that he's connected to Saint Germain. Is it true that you're connected to Saint Germain? I get a yes. And last practice we confirmed that he is, many people believe that he is like a parallel fractal of Saint Germain, but I feel like he's the same person, different identity. And I get a yes on that. Like he's just kept with the times and had to alter his identity to fit with the modern times. Yes. But that in each identity, he tried to help humanity. Yes. Awesome. Thank you for being here, Angie. So yes, joy. Joy's on my mind today. So let's start. Okay. Merlin, are you here and connected? Yes. And I have music playing on the background today, so let me know if it becomes too loud or distracting. Okay, let's begin. Is joy more than an emotion? I get a yes. Is joy a frequency? I get a yes. Does joy increase dimensional perception? I get a yes. Thank you. Are beings more able to interact with humans if they're holding joy as a frequency? Yes. And when I say beings, are higher dimensional beings more able to interact with humans if humans are carrying joy? Yes. Okay. Let's see. Does chronic seriousness suppress intuition and perception? Oh, I wasn't sure what I was going to get for that one, but I get a yes. I thought I was going to get like a maybe. But yes, I feel like Merlin very much believes that joy and happiness are important, yes. And definitely disagrees with taking your life and yourself too seriously. Yes. Okay. Is joy often misunderstood as immaturity? Yes. Is joy part of Earth's original template? I get a yes. All right, let's see. Is depression sometimes considered disconnection from soul memory? I get yes. Is joy sovereignty? Yes. Remember to hydrate. Okay. Now moving on to our multidimensional self, because that was the big like epiphany of my psychedelic experience last night. When I was under the influence of the medication, I could like almost see between dimensions, like between wall. It was very strange, very cool, and it just made me realize how this really is a layered experience, and humans can only perceive the amount of it. So yeah, joy is being sovereign, and joy, like sovereignty. All these terms are so big and complex. Sovereignty is always thrown around, but like joy is indeed sovereignty, because you have to know what authentically brings you joy in order to embody it. Yes. And I know that many of us, including myself, grew up with like a suppressed ability to express. Yeah. Where it's like, it took me a long time to feel safe in relationships, to be able to be like, I don't like that actually, or I want to do this, knowing that I might be the only one who wants to do it. But be like, I don't care, I want to do it, I want to be selfish. It's okay to be selfish. So it took me a long time to be able to embrace joy, true authentic joy, in doing things that bring me specifically joy, and not things that I thought I should enjoy this, because everyone enjoys this. Right? Like you have to know who you are, what you like and don't like, in order to truly embrace joy. So yeah. I'm not a psychic, Alyssa. I mean, everyone is sort of psychic. Is that true? I get a yes. But I am not developed as a psychic to be like, Alyssa, I'm sensing you have a love on the way. But I do hope you have love on the way, Alyssa. Okay. Let's see. Multidimensional self. Am I operating in multiple dimensions at the same time? I get a yes. And that was cool because my rods were going all crazy before, and then they snapped back for that yes. Look at that. Yes. And then, is my higher self active elsewhere right now? Yep. If you haven't seen the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once, I highly recommend it. It does a very good job explaining the multidimensional aspect of this reality. Yes. In a silly, easy to digest way. Is time simultaneous? Yes. And so is my higher self playing out my past and future lives concurrently? I get a yes. Yes, these rods are used to locate water. Yes. And I've even used them to locate lost items. Could you use them for that? Yes. Because really, these rods, it's not like they're attuned to water. It's that they're energy conductors. Yes. Excuse me. Burp. And they swivel. They swivel very easily. And the key to using these well is keep learning to find that sweet spot, because every rod has a different sweet spot of learning, like when it's so loosey-goosey. You want it to be loosey-goosey, like that. so that when you stay perfectly still, like right now I don't feel like they're picking up on anything. But if I were to ask, Merlin, are you still connected? Yes. You can like feel a subtle energy. And one of the practices I like is, because Merlin's not pulling the rods back and forth, it's more accurate to say he's putting energy through my body that indicate a positive or a negative signal. Yes. And that positive signal is translated through these rods to do this. Yes. And then show me a negative signal. Hold on. Show me a negative signal. And like a good practice when you're getting started is to feel into your body as you're feeling the no. Like, Merlin, hold the no. I want to feel into my body. Okay, and then show me a yes, and have me feel that into my body. And just start to notice, like, what subtle feelings do you sense? Some people feel tingles. I tend to feel like either a tension or lack of tension in my heart. It's like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. But everyone is different. Everyone receives these signals differently. So yeah, you can use these rods for all kinds of good reasons, yes. But the one I'm using and teaching right now and practicing with everyone is interdimensional communication, yes, which is another tool, another thing you can use these with. And some people pick it up really easily, and the first time they pick up the rods, it's like immediate, like we're connected, and it's kind of freaky. And other people like me, it takes a while. Yes. And a lot of that takes a while had to do, at least for me, with self-doubt, blocking my ability to believe I could do this. And so just like Emily teaches, everyone can do this. Yes. Everyone's body, as we learned from Enki, is spiritual technology designed in a way to help us interdimensionally communicate and travel. Dreams are indicators of that. We do that. And meditation, they're all ways for that to happen. Plug in my phone before I lose battery today. Okay. I use them, but my partner and I get different answers on the same questions, so I started to doubt it. And that's interesting too. And that's the reason why I do this group practice. Because there's a couple of reasons why you can get different answers. It's even true that, like, is it true that I can force these rods to give me the answer that I want? Yes. Like, you can even practice that and be like, make it yes. And like, you can just imagine this energy's making a yes. And so there is a possibility that if I really want an answer to be yes, and it's technically no, that I could like influence the answer. Yes. So that could be a reason. There also could be, are you sure that you and your husband are connected to the same being? That could be an issue. It just depends. And also some beings can be lying to you or your partner. Yes. For a reason. It could be a reason, you know, depending on what you're asking about. Maybe that's part of the lesson. Maybe you're both wanting something differently. I don't know. Or it could be that you're just not practicing clean, open, and closing practices. Yes. So, I don't know. But troubleshoot. Because yes, this isn't a perfect science. Because our bodies are still the filter that the answers and energy must pass through. Yeah. So if your body is not energetically aligned, you know, it can affect the answers, I feel like. You know, that's why healing and divination go hand in hand. Was that yes, a yell or a scream? That was hard. Oh yeah, when they do, is it true that sometimes the person you're connected with on these will do a really fast or intense yes to really provide indicator that that was a strong answer? Yes. My spirit dolls love the rods. I'm not sure what spirit dolls are. Are those like little haunted dolls? If so, okay, cool. All right, let's see. Now, okay. Our dreams, dimensional travels that we go through at night. Yes. Is deja vu basically timeline bleed through? Yes. Are some humans consciously multidimensional already at this moment? I get a yes. You can even ask, I don't even know if that qualifies as me. Would you say that I am consciously multidimensional already? I get a yes. So that's an interesting solo question. You can even ask, are there timelines, future timelines, where I am already an ascended master? I get a yes. And that means Earth ascended master? I get a yes. Can you ask, what are we supposed to do in our dreams back rooms? Oh gosh, someone was talking about dream back rooms today too. Trishelle was talking about back rooms. Interesting. I'm not too familiar with backroom dream stuff, but I do feel like was my psychedelic experience last night, did it take me into what could be considered a dream back room? Yes. So they're like interdimensional liminal spaces? Yes. Interesting. It seems like some are reoccurring and others feel like meetings or something you're supposed to do. Okay, yeah, that's what I get the sense too. Like almost like a waiting room lobby. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I know, Trishelle, can you believe it? You just talked to me about that. Weird. Like, are we supposed to continue talking about dream back rooms and liminal spaces? Yes. Oh, goodness. I don't even know what to ask about them. So if you have any questions about them, when I think of them, I immediately think of like, I don't know, potential. As we're learning, we're learning things like remote viewing, astral travel, and all those things are real things you can do. Yes. And I feel like many of us, and I definitely, as a child, I was already doing that stuff like a pro. Yes. And then you go through things where you renounce and forget. Yes. And then you become an adult like us and try and get it back. I feel like those phases are portal doors to where you can do. Yeah, I feel like that too. Like it feels like a springboard, just liminal space, like where you could do more if you wanted to. Yeah. It was so much easier as a child, and we had no idea what we were doing was special. Yes. But I take solace in knowing that we're moving into a reality where the children version of us who are out there doing all kinds of astral somersaults, they now would be taken care of and taught like you're doing serious work up there and teach us what to do with it, how to protect ourselves. Because we were out there, I mean, I always think of like, it was like the 80s, man, from Bluey. And growing up, we were doing all this stuff without even knowing what we were doing. Unprotected, most of us. Because is it true that most of us who were considered astral pros in our childhood were born into families that were intentionally not given us guidance on what we were doing? Yes. A lot of us were thrown into the deep end with our powers. Yes. It's what we chose. We chose to be like, woohoo! And then, oh my goodness, what did I do? I don't want this. This is too crazy. And then later be like, wait a second. That was part of my gifts. Give it back. And then here we are. At least that's how my story has unfolded. But I know that many of you can relate. Yeah. I have some cool stories to tell you about the oh my goodness, I can't believe I did that, shut it down kind of experiences I've had. But yes, there's some good ones in there. Let's see. Where was I on the multi-dimension? Oh, and as I saw in my experience last night, are we ever truly separated from the other dimensions? I'm getting a yes, but I was expecting a no. Let me ask. Are we ever truly separated from other dimensions? Okay, now I get a no. Let's ask a third time. Are we ever truly separated from other dimensions? Still getting a no. Okay. That was me. Thank you for sharing that new perspective. Yeah. You know, a lot of us were born flexing all these cool gifts. I mean, that's the point. We're born inherently turned on. Yes. Yeah. And then we go through lots of programming that stifles our light, so to speak. Yes. And in that way, you could say the matrix is designed to keep us small. Yes. Because it's designed to input self-doubt and fear into all of the things that we did naturally, you know? I mean, just think of it. How many people are out there now sharing light language that, what, a century ago would have been, maybe not even that long, would have been categorized as like, what's the, speaking in tongues, and like could have been dangerous. And now we're learning like, oh no, like light language is a real thing, because why would we assume that every being out there has spoken language? Like, that's ridiculous. They mostly speak in telepathy anyway, is what we're learning. Yeah. I don't know if you can make rods out of coat hangers. I only know is that if you could find copper coat hangers, that's the only thing that's important, is that they need to be copper. Now, you can also use a pendulum if you don't have rods. Pendulums are great. If you don't have a pendulum, you could literally make one. Can you make a pendulum out of a necklace? Yes. Some people combine a necklace with a ring to make a proper pendulum. Yes. It doesn't really matter. And your rods are not working. This is why we're doing this practice. It's a practice. And you just want to follow through. Make sure you opened correctly. Make sure you're hydrated, because it's energy moving through your body, and water conducts energy. And you want to make sure you're breathing. In the beginning, when I was getting used to my rods and I was going through the they're not even working mode, I was being too stiff. I remember being like this and like really holding my hand stiff, because I was like, I don't want to move my hands an inch, because I want to make sure it's the rods. But you're just like, you're being just too tense. I was being too tense. So relax, breathe. Okay? It's about allowing energy to flow through you. So breathe, calm, and ground, and say, am I connected to Merlin right now? Yes. Where do negative spirits come from, and are there really demons? Oh, I don't know enough about are there really. All I've learned is that, is it more true to say that you can say, am I divinely protected? Yes. Is it accurate to say that a lot of the malevolent spirits we know about, like demons, etc., are more accurately like human miscreations? I get a yes. And so it's like everything that we're scared of exists because human energy created it. Yes. And is it true that by declaring I am a sovereign being and divinely protected, that you are sort of immune to negative attachments? Yes. So, yeah. It's like no one can connect to you or with you unless you give permission. Yes. The thing is, a lot of people, I guess, get so, unknowingly connected to attachments because, we are always unknowingly giving away our power. Yes. And unknowingly giving our consent away to things that maybe we consciously would say no to. Which is why it's practices like daily meditation and just intentionally calling your power back and cleansing your energy is good. Because, as we've been learning in these practices, not only is it true that not only do people have an aura, but they also have like a thought bubble energy that they give off? Yes. in a way that, like, if I were to walk into a room thinking about how much I love myself and love the world, is it true that other people in the room might subconsciously start picking up on that frequency and also start loving themselves and the world? Yes. And so is it true in the opposite meter? If I came into a room full of rage and anger internally, even if I didn't express it outwardly, would others subconsciously pick up on that negative energy that I'm putting out? I get yes. And so I don't know where I was going with that. I got sidetracked, but that is why it's so important to call your energy back and be like, this is my energy. And you can even ask if you're feeling some type of way. Like, for example, my friend the other day was feeling extra sappy or sad, emotional. And maybe she could have asked, like, is this sadness actually mine? Right? And then you can ask and say, like, no. And then if the answer is no, that's not actually mine, then you can be like, okay, I'm releasing this sadness. It's not mine. I'm calling my energy back to me. Is that a proper way to handle something like that? I get a yes. Weepy, yeah. Because as I've been learning in a lot of these Soul Speak sessions, is it true that many of us out here are unconsciously acting sort of as energetic filters for the collective? Yes. And so if we're always picking up energies, right, whether we know it or not, and most of us are not putting up energetic, like, I'm protected, my energy is my own, every time we go out and about. I know I'm not all the time. We're picking up things, and we're filtering a lot and transmuting a lot of junk in the collective. Yes. So, those that are considered empaths are like sort of like the super filters. Yes. So empaths need to do a lot more energetic cleansing. Yes. Yeah, Bruce says, since his spiritual awakening, he hasn't felt a spirit or negative entity. Because you get to the knowing of realizing, like, they are afraid of, like, I don't have to be afraid of them. They should be afraid of me. Yes, because each single human alive is more powerful than any negative entity that exists. Yes. We just forget. Yes. And so it's like they literally are nothing, like a flea on a dog, and the white light is your daily cap star. Okay. Now we're moving on to the section of angels and demons. Okay. Like I said earlier, I love connecting with Merlin because Merlin is unique. Is it true, Merlin, am I connected to you? Okay, yeah. Is it true, Merlin, that you are equally angelic and dragon energies? Yes. Which is, would you say that is what makes you unique? Okay, sort of unique. Special, yes. Okay, so you're saying that there are others out there who are also angelic and dragon energy? I'm getting a yes. Okay. I would love to know who those are. He's the first one that I've met. But I'm getting the picture of, like, are there dragons that exist that are also half angel? I'm getting a yes. Okay. Let's see. So now, first, angels. I find it so interesting that he's half and half because as I've learned, if every planet that has sentient beings has the sort of format that we have here on Earth where there's protectors of the Earth as well as the beings, you would describe angels as like the celestial cosmic protector guardians, and then the dragons are like the earthly like underworld earth guardians and protectors. And angels represent light energy and dragons represent dark energy. Is that all accurate? Yes. Someone is saying, I did not see the first part of your message, Mr. Hit. Sorry. Okay. And so, angels. Are angels, well, I have a question that's interesting. Is it more accurate to say that angels are extra dimensional intelligences? That was a weird way. I want to ask if that's different. Is that different from interdimensional intelligences? I'm getting a sort of. Okay. So does it matter? Are angels both extra dimensional and interdimensional intelligences? Yes. Is it accurate to say that angels could be considered frequency architects? Yes. We are angels. Are there humans currently alive that we would accurately describe as angelic souls having a human experience? I get a yes. Is it true that all humans have at least one guardian angel? I get a yes. Are angels bound by universal law? I get a yes. Okay. Do angels require consent to intervene? Yes. I've heard that in other podcasts too. Do angels appreciate it when we talk out loud to them? I'm getting a yes, but it hesitated. Does it matter if we talk to them in our heads or out loud? I'm getting a no. So it's just as powerful to talk to them in your head as it is out loud? I get a yes. Yeah, a Reiki practitioner can help release entities. I've also really loved following, you should go check out on Facebook, she's very active. Lara Starr, Lara Starr. She used to work for Dolores Cannon before she passed away, and now does her own thing, but she does spirit release therapy or technique, SRT, and she's very, very good. Worth looking into, and she even trains people to do it too. So if that's something you're interested in learning how to do, go her way, because it's very cool. What else? I'm not going to ask questions like that. Will I get my raise? But I am teaching and practicing using rods. So those are the type of questions you can start to ask in your private practice. Okay. Oh, I wanted to ask this. Okay, can you connect with the rods and angels? Yes. Can angels lie to you using these rods? I get a yes. Interesting. I'll ask again. So, are angels always forced to tell us the truth? I'm getting a no. So angels are allowed to lie to us? I'm getting a yes. Very cool. Nope. Okay, let's ask the top of the top. Is Archangel Michael allowed to lie to us using these rods? I'm getting that he's allowed to, but is it that he's allowed to, but he chooses not to? Yes. I don't know. I would have assumed as well that angels cannot lie, but it's true. Angels can technically lie to us, yes. Why would they lie? Well, that gets into a deeper question, because you can say, is it true that sometimes higher dimensional beings lie to us for our highest and greatest good? Yes. So it really depends on what they're lying to you about. You're not going to get an angel to lie to you and say, the sky is falling, quick, empty your bank accounts. Yeah, they're not going to lie to you in that scale, but it may be like a lie. I'm trying to think of one. The most common one, I feel like, if you go down the divination road and you start asking questions about who you are, who these higher aspects of yourself are, A common lie will often be like, you're so-and-so, and it'll often be like a famous person. Like, you're an incarnation of Jesus or Yeshua. It's a common one. And, you know, you usually go into a little bit of psychosis because you've just been told, oh no, hold on 1 second. I'm busy.
Love you.
Okay, love you too. And it's to teach you. And, you know, you go through, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm this person. And it kind of tests your ego. And then the ultimate goal is that you eventually learn, like, okay, I'm not an actual incarnation of Jesus. But literally, I can connect to Jesus with these tools. Like, he actually cares deeply about me. He's part of my story. Like, maybe I had a past life where I was very connected to him. Like, there's always a real connection, a truth to that lie. But the lie is often told to help you get past this very common problem that a lot of us humans have, which is self-doubt and feeling like we're not worthy. So they trick you into feeling like the opposite. You're so worthy, you're special, you're chosen. You're very special. And then you get to the truth, is like, we're all very special. We're all very chosen. And we each have unique higher self aspects, which are very special. And each one of us has a mystery worth cracking open. And, you know, some are more exciting than some of the famous, you know, archetypes we have in our history. So anyways, that's one of the good lessons. Merlin, would you say that's one of the good lessons I've just explained? Yeah. So would you say that's one of the reasons why, like, for example, your higher self may lie to you? Yes. All of it is to help build discernment. Yes. Because as we've practiced in the past, like, for example, is my name Dale? Yes. Is my name Frank? No. Okay, Merlin, I want you to lie to me for this next one. He did it last time, so we'll see if he can do it again. Merlin, will you lie to me for this next answer? Getting a yes. Okay. I want you to ask it to lie to you about your name. So, is my name Dale? And I want you to feel into your body as you're receiving this wrong answer. Okay, drop it. And like, do you see how it felt off? And so it's like all of this stuff helps build that inner body sensation of what truth and lies feel like. Because I don't know if you were aware, but we're currently learning that our entire world government has been lying to us. Yes. And as truth comes out, we all know very well and good they're going to keep trying to lie and cover their tracks. Is that true? Yes. We are experiencing the equivalent of a fox in a corner of the American government and world government stage. Yeah. And so, yeah. It is so important then to feel into our body as news starts to come out of what is actually true and what is manipulation tactics. Yeah. So yeah, how can I get me a wizard? You are a wizard. We're all wizards. Just put on your wizard hat and pick up your divination tools. Let's see. And now dragons. Okay. Are dragons considered interdimensional guardians? Yes. And would you consider dragons to be extra dimensional, just like angels? I get a yes. Are dragons specifically connected to the grids of the earth? Yes. I don't know if this is an interesting question. Are dragons older than angels? I gotta know. Would you say they are the same age, even though time is not real? Yes. They are older than time. Yes. Are some of these guides part of this matrix? Oh, that's a complicated question, Robert, because some of these guides is such a generic... I'm going to ask it exactly the way you phrased it, but just know that that question needs to be dissected. Okay. Are some of the guides that people choose to connect with part of the matrix programming? Yes. Does that mean that some of these guides may be, I didn't finish, some of these guides may be not for the highest and greatest good of those connecting? Yes. Okay, so yeah, I don't know what else to ask about that one, but just know that I get the sense that you should just always trust what feels right. Like, for example, if I was connected to Merlin every day and I'm doing this, obviously I'm going to start to develop a sense of his energy, correct? Yes. So that's the goal. These are the gateway tool to opening up your extra sensory perception, correct? Yes. Because as I was learning in my psychedelic experience last night, I felt like I could almost sense like an other presence. Yes. It was actually funny because my nose started itching while I was taking the medicine, and it reminded me that sometimes when I'm doing this, my nose itches. Yes. And I was like, is someone itching my nose? Is it a signal? And I like felt almost like a whisper over here, and as I turned, I couldn't see it. It was like the view kept moving and I couldn't really see. It's sort of like when you're shifting to the edge of a TV panel and like you can't get past that wall of static. But I could sense it there. And then later this morning, I was like, Merlin, is it you itching my nose? And I got a yes. And I was like, was it you on my right last night, behind my right shoulder? Yes. And so, yeah. Anyways, what was going with that? It's like all of this is to help turn on this technology. Because if you check out the Anki interview that we've released on my page, our body's designed for a lot more than we give it credit for. Yes. Hold on, I'm getting another intruder. Hey, Ethan, I'm busy. Can I be there in 15 minutes? All right, don't bother me for 15 minutes. Okay. Always needed. Okay, let's see. Do humans carry dragon codes? I get a yes. Are there some dragon souls currently experiencing life as a human now? I get a yes, but it feels rare. Are those incarnations rare? I'm getting not as rare as you think, like there's actually a fair amount. Yes, interesting, and I would assume there's very little. So are there a pretty decent, significant amount of humans that are actually dragon souls having a human experience? I'm getting a yes. Would you say that there is actually an even amount of angelic and dragon souls having a human experience? Not perfectly even, but close enough? Yes. Okay, interesting. Boys always want their moms. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Okay. Where were we going with this? Okay. Do angels... Okay, no. Is dragon energy currently rising on Earth? Yes. One of the big transmissions that came through has been like, dragons have been... Is it true that until recently, dragons would have been considered dormant energies on this planet? Yes. And that recently, like I mean in the last few months, last 3 to 4 months, have dragon energies returned fully to this planet. They're returning to full capacity on this planet, yes. Yes, so like there has been a major dragon activation on this planet. Yes, and that's new. Is that a new development with the shift? I'm getting a yes. Let's see. Do dragons and angels work together? Yes. Is it accurate to say that angels represent light and dragons represent dark? Yes. Let's see. And then since Merlin is like the bridge of light and dark, oops, I want to learn about that. Is Merlin a bridge between angelic and dragon energies? Yes. And then I kind of want to go into what is light, what is dark, because I think a majority of us women out there have been trained to operate more in our light. Yes. Which, as we're learning, leads to people pleasing. Yeah. And like lower weak boundaries. Yeah. And just like overly serving. Yes. And so that's like an indicator of like imbalanced light. Yes. And then, you know, as we learn later and as we grow, we realize like, oh, it is a lot like masculine and feminine energies. I like to think of an X and Y axis, okay? If everyone has an X and Y axis, X and Y is your masculine and feminine. X is your masculine and feminine axis, and Y is your dark and light. Everyone has like a pinpoint, right? Like I obviously express more as feminine. Although I would say that in my younger years, I would have expressed, not outwardly like gender, although there have been phases in our lives where we gender express more masculine or feminine, but I'm talking more energetic. So like I like to think, and this is a good gauge, is it accurate to say that I am energetically more feminine than masculine? Yes. And that's more like receiving, nurturing myself, like, and others. But I'm more in the receiving, go with the flow mode. Whereas in my past, and many of us, you know, we are under a patriarchal matrix, right? Which means that in order to succeed, many of us had to be in our masculine expression energies. Yes. Even though we're female, right? It just means that we had to like learn to hustle and burnout culture, all these kinds of things. Push, like hustle to achieve your goals versus trusting and receiving and manifesting kind of thing. That's more feminine versus pushing things down a road and using your drive is more masculine, right? So I used to be a lot more imbalanced masculine, and that led to physical burnout because I was pushing too hard instead of allowing. And then everyone has a Y, which is light and dark, where you naturally, that's your baseline. Of course, we all tend to go up and down depending on the phase of our life and journey, but I think everyone has a tendency for balance in one way or another. And some of us are naturally more dark than light, and that's not bad, you know. Being in your dark, as dragon wisdom can teach you, dragon wisdom is all about owning who you are and your voice and that inner fire. Yes. And dragons are about the ability to say no. Yes. They are the no behind us, all of our choices, and give us the strength to be like, just because no, it's a full sentence. And that was a new skill I had to develop in my adulthood. Yes, as do many. Because you were raised along with me to appease others over yourself. Yes. So, but we're embracing our dragon energy later in life, and that's okay. And so, and dragons, you know, they have their fire. They get angry, and as we're learning, is anger considered sacred? I'm getting a yes. It is. Anger is a sign of passion. Yes. And when directed, anger can be extremely powerful. Yes. I'm like getting like move mountains. Yes. Let's see. And like your darkness is also like your ability to be assertive. Like, you know, younger me would be like, well, I don't know, I think. And now I'm like, this is what I say. This is my opinion. And I'm no longer afraid of people disagree. Yes, which is a new thing. That used to very much make me tremble. The idea of someone disagreeing with me. Yes. Okay. Let's see. Practical life question. That's what I wanted to end with. Okay. So that we can integrate this information. Can someone be spiritually aligned and still say no firmly? Yes. Just so I can read it in front of me. Okay. Is conflict avoidance considered shadow? Yes. Like, dragon energy is what helps us face those difficult conversations. But then the angelic energy is the one that helps us face those conversations with love and trust that it's going to be easier than we expected. Yes. Does healthy confrontation increase alignment? Yes. Is owning your own ambition part of integration? Yes. It's okay to be ambitious. That is embracing your masculine nature, which everyone has. Man, woman, it doesn't matter. In between, everyone has masculine energies. Yes. Okay. Is people pleasing considered a form of shadow leakage, energy leakage? Yes. One of the few times that I've had my dragon come through my partner Stephanie to speak to me, he said something so profound that will forever stay with me. And he was like, this is a selfish game, which means you gain the most ground by being selfish with your love, your adoration. I mean, it's funny because my mother is extremely, I would say, self-confident. Yes. And I grew up very opposite. She used to call me Plain Jane, which did not help my confidence. But my mom grew up very self-confident. I used to like judge her for that and be like, oh, she thinks so highly of herself. Ew. And growing up, it dawned on me. She once said to me, like, yes, I love myself. Because if I don't love myself, who else is going to do it? And now I know that she was dropping straight up facts. Like, that was so true. And I lived my whole life trying to earn other people's love by bypassing my own self-love, and that did not earn me anything except heartache. And since becoming completely focused on my own self-love, everything has changed in my favor in my life, in all departments. And so when he said this was a selfish game, he meant it. And by being selfish, you help everyone around you. So it's actually really cool how that works. And so it's like, focus on you, focus on creating the life of your dreams, and watch how that trickles into the reality of all of our dreams. Would you say that that is sound advice? Yes. And it sounds totally make-believe and kind of like in the air, but it's true. You get a yes. Okay. Does anyone have any questions about any of that before we end today? I had some rapid fire questions to close, but we kind of covered all of that. Really, it's about bringing it back to the importance of joy. Joy is a stabilizing frequency. Is that true? Yes. And as we learned earlier, it's like joy is sovereignty. Yes. And so if you can do anything today to help yourself and mankind, it would be to find something that brings you actual, true, lose yourself in the moment joy. Because joy plus that flow state is magic. And so when was the last time you lost track of time? It's like, those are those little magical moments that are worth it. They make this whole earth experience worth it. And so I hope you get out there and do that. Make those magical moments in your life and watch it ripple out into the world. I love you. I love me. Let's make this world what we want it to be. I'll see you guys on with Sunday. So we're going to do the rods again on Tuesday and Wednesday at 1. And then we're also playing an interview with Stephanie, channeling a unicorn, I believe, this Tuesday. So check it out on my live events. And then Thursday evening, we're having We just did Enki, so now it's Apollo. Apollo of the Council of Nine 2.0, so that should be fun too. Thank you for being here. Have a magical rest of your weekend, and spread joy.